Hey everyone, welcome back to Optimal EV. Today we're going to be going over the BMW i440 and giving you our first impressions.
This will be our second first impressions video, so if you guys are enjoying this type of content, please make sure to leave a comment down below. Also, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as it helps our channel grow a lot, and it also makes us feel better about ourselves.
Okay, so here we are on BMW's website. As you see, we have the BMW i4 in front of us, and you can now pre-order the vehicle. But something that we did notice is that BMW is pushing the i4 M50, as you can see on the front page here. Gives it a little different styling. So as we scroll down, you're going to notice that. But first, we're going to go down and show you the first picture of the i440.
So the first thing we're going to have here are the colors for the car. You know, normally we go through all of these for you as an example to show you what they have available. However, we're not quite sure if some of these are only going to be available for the M package or if they're just going to come with the base model on the i4.
Exactly. So to start, we have our Frozen Portimao Blue Metallic, which I'm 100% positive is going to be an extra charge. Frozen in BMW's verbiage just means matte.
Yeah.
A paint that is definitely hard to take care of. So Frozen Portimao Blue. Then we have Alpine White, which will be available on the i440. Black Sapphire, another one that should 100% be on the i440. Mineral White Metallic. Sunset Orange Metallic. The regular Portimao Blue without the matte finish. Sanremo Green, which some people love greens, some people hate them.
I hate that color.
I don't like it
just
either.
looking at it, not a good color for
I think
me.
if you're going to do a green, you should do a lighter green on a car, a sports car at least.
I guess. I don't even see myself driving any type of green.
Yeah, well, hey, at least you go from green to like one of your favorite colors, which is
Right.
Brooklyn Gray.
True, yeah.
This color, again, we've mentioned it before, looks like Nardo Gray, a little
Yeah.
lighter, but it's definitely awesome.
I think the dark gray here, definitely my favorite of the two.
Yeah, Dravik Gray is definitely a good color. And then one of my favorites that we talked about in the iX, the Aventura in red. If you haven't seen our iX video, go check that out right up here somewhere. You don't know where, but
Up at the
somewhere.
top.
Now we're going to scroll down to the bottom where we're going to get our first impressions of the i440. Like we said before, BMW's mainly showing you the M50. Now we get our first kind of taste of it. As we scroll down, you're going to notice that we have our first picture of the BMW i440. Again, like we said before, the M50 is really showing up everywhere else. You can notice just by the styling kit and the frozen color they have on there.
Right.
So now we get some stats. If you want to go over some of them.
Yeah, so on the Style Definer i4, we have a 5.5 second 0 to 60, a 300-mile range with 335 horsepower, and a 108-mile charge in about 10-minute DC fast charging. So that's pretty quick for only 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that 300-mile standard should be throughout the whole industry. I love seeing that number. Sometimes when you creep lower in the low 200s, it really doesn't cut it. Another thing that really impressed me was that 335 horsepower on the standard version.
Yeah.
That's comparable to any kind of inline six-cylinder, petrol engine. So that's plenty of power, but obviously a lot heavier being an electric car.
So the overall look of the car is actually really nice in my opinion. I think it vaguely resembles the Grand Coupe that's coming out soon. I also really like the blue trims that BMW i is offering.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of separates itself from the standard Grand Coupe. They do look super similar, though. One thing that I know was very controversial was that big grille in the front. But now that it's been out for around 2 years now, I think people are getting used to it. I personally started to love it once I saw it in person. So that's super nice styling. And one thing that I think is super important is that it's one of the first full electric vehicles that kind of just looks like a standard car. I know the Audi e-tron did it with the first SUV to look like a normal SUV. But this thing just looks, a normal driving car, and I think that's kind of cool. The only thing that's not like that is that the blue accents, but
right.
it definitely stands out as something unique in the market right now.
So yeah, that grille's actually kind of strange. Unlike the other car, I don't think this one is self-healing, is it?
No, I don't think so. I've looked into it a little bit, but I've seen nothing that says that it's self-healing like the BMW iX. I think that is something that will be unique to that, and probably because of the price point. I'm guessing.
True.
Yeah. Another thing I notice on it is those laser lights that BMW's been popularly doing. I think they look great matching those blue accents on the side.
Yep.
We're going to scroll down on the BMW site, and just like the BMW iX, you're going to have the pre-order process where you're going to put a deposit on the car. Then you will have the design period during the fall, which hopefully is very soon, and then you'll take delivery in about the springtime. But again, we don't have an exact date on that, especially with the chip shortages. Anything could change.
Right.
Scroll down more pictures of the M50, which we will be reviewing next, giving you our impressions on it, and then just a nice picture. I like those new door handles where they're kind of flush with the car.
Yeah, they look so good.
Yeah, and one thing to notice is just that The i440 is going to be rear-wheel drive, and then they're going to add a motor to the M50, making it all-wheel drive. Both are going to be the same battery size, though. That's why there's the difference in range.
Right. So here we have pictures of the interior, which looks really great. As you can see on the screen here, it's actually the new iDrive, which the petrol Grand Coupe won't have.
Yeah, so it's going to have that full elongated screen with BMW's newest technology, something that the Grand Coupe customer might be a little disappointed in. But hey, if you're buying an i4, you're getting the best of both worlds. It also continues what I said before about just a standard-looking interior. It just doesn't look like a 4 Series. It looks like a 4 Series.
Yep.
There's no crazy things going on, no displays like Tesla or just weird things that you'd see in an EV.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I mean, if you compare this to the iX, very drastic difference in interior. You notice that the seat buttons aren't there in the iX, whereas they're now located on the side of the seat like they normally are. So this is very, very similar to your normal BMW car, whereas the iX is kind of, branching out a bit.
I 100% agree. And it's definitely nice just to see something standard, but also see something unique. I think in the EV world, it's always cool to see some kind of weird feature, but also it's nice to get just that normal driving car that is electric and you can still, go super fast and have a ton of torque.
Right. I think for most people, when you're buying a new electric car, you're either one way or the other. You either really want this thing to embrace the fact that it's electric, or you want to go the other route and say, hey, I want my car to kind of look like the way it did, but perform in a way that an electric car would.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a great segue from a gas car, a petrol engine, into electric. Let's say for the older customer who might not understand the EV world yet and some of the technology, they might want just a normal feeling car, because a lot of older folks will drive BMWs and Mercedes and other German brands. And going into this is definitely a big step. So I think that'll help them do that.
For sure. If you guys are watching this right now, drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Is this something you would want your car to be? Would you like it to resemble a gas car that you are probably switching away from? Or do you want to fully embrace that full electric car?
Yeah, and get some crazy features.
So next we have the range of the car, which is about an average of 270 miles and a maximum range of 300, as we mentioned before.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see a picture of the i440, not the M50.
Yeah.
Little refreshing. But we're going to keep going down and just give you an idea. So we have BMW partnered with EVgo, one of the biggest charging stations and networks in the country. And one thing that they did mention is they will be giving you $100 for a credit just to buy an EV.
Yeah, not super impressive, honestly. I mean, Lucid's offering 3 years of complimentary charging, so I'm not quite sure if BMW really wants to try and brag about that. But
yeah, don't put it on your website. That's terrible. Or at least give me more.
Right.
So now we're just going to go over to the pre-ordering section. So I'm just going to pop that up for you real quick. Now we have our summary page where it's showing you how much the vehicle is going to cost during the pre-order. I would expect it to be a lot more than 55, maybe somewhere in the low 60s, just because the vehicle they're showing you on the screen has options on it, like the laser lights. I'm sure these are upgraded wheels, and other options will be available, I'm sure, on the i4, just like BMW always does on all their vehicles. So 55.4 versus 65.9 for the M50. And also 0 to 60, 5.5 versus 3.7 on the M50. 300-mile range on the i440 versus 245 on the M50. So you're paying $10,000 more for a little less range and a faster vehicle. I personally think that the i440 is going to be the better budget build and also just more value in your money.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to end up selling way more of the regular i4 than they are of the M50 package. It just seems to me like a better bang for your buck. I mean, 300 miles versus that decreased rate is just not something you really want to sacrifice for just $10,000.
Yeah, and 5.5 seconds isn't slow. So it's not like you're jumping a huge distance from, let's say, the Tesla where you're at, what if you're at 5 seconds to 1.99? I mean, that's a huge difference, but I don't think I would feel too much drastic change between the M50 and the 40. So I think the 40 is the better buy.
Yeah, you actually drove a Mustang Mach-E, which has a 0 to 60 of 5.7 seconds, and I remember you saying it wasn't really that slow. In fact, it was pretty quick, right?
Yeah, you still felt the jolt of the torque on the EV. So that's one thing that, an EV versus a non, you definitely feel the speed in the first get up and go. So I don't know where you can drive super, super fast on a lot of these roads and get to that 140 top speed on the M50. I think 120 on the 40 is fine.
Yeah, I think it's plenty. Also, if you're looking to actually pre-order this car, you can expect the delivery around late summer 2022, as the June deliveries are already sold out. That wraps up our first impressions video on the BMW i440. Next up, we will be doing the BMW i4 M50. As you might notice, we'll be wearing the exact same clothes because we're going to record that right after this.
Yeah, and if you guys are enjoying this content, make sure to leave a comment because I'm going to be responding to them almost instantly. Also, make sure to like and subscribe because, we love it. It makes us feel amazing about ourselves. And obviously, we'll see you in the future.